So in today's video, I'm going to talk through my results from using Spotify's Showcase tool to promote one of my own singles. And actually by one of my own singles, I mean a song that my brother wrote and mostly sings on. I just sing one verse on it. But the song did well when it came out. It got placed on the Spotify editorial playlist. And so I knew that the song itself had some potential, and I figured why not try Spotify Showcase with a song that's already had a little bit of a track record. Personally, I've been wondering how Spotify's advertising tools stack up to some of the third-party things out there like playlisting or like meta ads or even TikTok ads, I guess. And yeah, I figured why not just give Showcase a shot since it was available. So famous last words, but I think this is going to be a pretty quick video because the campaign itself is pretty basic. But my plan is to walk through how you set it up, what you need to do to be eligible, and then show you the actual results that I got, and my opinion on whether or not it was worth it. And so with that said, let's get into it. So if you're not sure what Showcase is, here's a blurry picture I found on the internet of what it looks like on Spotify. Basically, your song just shows up on a user's home feed, and they have the option to play it. So it's an ad you might like, sponsored content, and that's what Showcase just very practically looks like on the Spotify app. And then the other thing I wanted to cover is who is eligible to use Showcase. So you can see here it is only available to US-based teams in Spotify for artists. So like they say, your team's billing country has to be set to the US. And then also you need to have had at least 1,000 streams over the last 28 days. And if you meet both those requirements, if you have team billing in the US and you have 1,000 streams over 28 days, then you should be eligible. And if you don't see it, you probably will see it pretty soon because they're rolling it out. So if you meet those requirements, when you go to campaigns, you will see the Showcase tab. And I'll walk you through how to set up a campaign. It's really very easy, so I don't even know if this is helpful, but here you go. So you got the Schedule Showcase button here. Click that bad boy, and then you can pick a song to promote. Notice you cannot do multiple songs in one showcase. So I'm not actually going to run this, but I'll just pick a random song and click Next. And yep, that's my team. I don't even have an option there. And then you can target your country. They give you a pretty big list of countries. I'm a US artist, so I would do United States. I feel like most people, given that this is only available to teams in the US, are probably going to target the US, but maybe there are some people who are interested in building other markets. Anyway, speculative. And then you get to set the campaign start date. So just going to leave it like that. Oh, another thing with the campaign start date is that your campaign will be active for up to 10 days, and they're literally just trying to spend your money over those 10 days. So I think in most cases, especially if you're doing a smaller budget, they'll probably spend it before the 10 days are up. But it's not going to be like something like Facebook ads where it could just run forever. It's going to be literally just 10 days max. And then you have some different options for the headline. I think I just did You Might Like, which I think is their default. But then you can say I'm on tour. If it's been out for a year, you could re-promote a song. So they give you just some different options that would appear with the headline text there. I haven't played around with that. I literally just did one campaign. And then they give you real limited audience targeting. You can just say light, moderate, super. I just let it on default because honestly my audience is fairly small, so I was just willing to trust them and see where they put the spend. And then I believe you have to spend at least 100. Yeah, so they require a minimum budget of 100 per campaign, and that's literally what I tested is just 100. Then we hit next, and it just gives you the option to review, and you can accept their terms and then submit payment. I am not going to pay for this campaign because I'm not super interested in doing it right now. But that's the process. Super, super easy. And then here were the results of the campaign that I ran. So I spent $100. I got 262 clicks. I guess it showed to almost 6,000 people. And that's not bad, actually. That comes out to a cost per click, a cost per result of about 38 cents, which to just the US, if you're doing that in meta ads, it's a pretty good rate. Now, obviously in meta ads, it's more expensive because you're paying to switch them over from the meta platform to Spotify. And this one, they're literally just staying on the platform. So you'd expect it to be a little bit cheaper. But 38 cents is not awful. It's also not great, but it was a little bit better than I expected. And then they give you what they call audience development stats. And so 9 listeners in my active audience streamed it. 14 listeners rejoined, I guess they'd listened to me before but hadn't in a while. And 157 were new. So I guess that's cool. And then here we got active streams per listener, 1.87. So this is definitely lower than what you would see for a meta ads campaign. I would expect it to be above 2 at least for a meta ads campaign. and this is lower. I guess it kind of makes sense because it's not as active an action. Like they're not switching platforms and checking you out, just kind of popping up. And so maybe it's a little bit more passive, but yeah, okay, not great. Intent rate, also okay. So that's, some people call this engagement rate, but it's basically the percentage of people who saved or playlisted a song. And you would kind of hope that that'd be closer to 20, but hey, it varies. And some of that is probably on the song, although I can't hate on the song because, like I said, my little brother wrote it. And then finally down at the bottom here, they try to tell you how it translates across the rest of your catalog. And honestly, I found this fairly disappointing. So only 3 listeners listened intentionally to another one of my releases. So I guess there's a chance that it could have just auto-played to something else I have, or maybe they heard it later on radio or something. But only 3 then went and streamed another song of mine, which doesn't seem very good to me. So again, maybe it's the song, but that song has gotten traction in the past, so I know that it at least has resonated with people. And yeah, that's just, I'm a little disappointed that that number isn't higher. Same thing with the streams per listener, and obviously no playlist ads or saves on other tracks for $100. So I think my overall takeaway is that this campaign went okay. It didn't crush it, obviously, but it also wasn't that bad. So I'm planning to try this with a bunch of different artists over the next few months and just see what some of the results are. But I'd say it's just another tool in the toolbox. Maybe it's worth spending a little bit of your budget promo here. You know this is above board for Spotify because they're pushing it. Maybe it'll even get better over time. So interesting. I would say that it is worth it, but it probably shouldn't be the only method you're using to promote your music. Then again, there's probably no method that should be the only thing you're doing to promote your music. But yeah, overall, not bad. So those were my results from the Spotify Showcase campaign. I'd be interested to hear your experience if you've used the tool yourself, or if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And yeah, hope the video was helpful. Oh, before we go, yes, I do have a new plant. It's actually a ficus. But I actually don't want to talk about it because I don't want to jinx anything, and I'm already worried that I am the household plant equivalent of that little girl from Finding Nemo who kills all the fish. If you are interested in learning more ways to grow your music, I have a video here where I talk through what you can expect if you run meta ads for your music, and then I also will put a link to the video I did on 16 different playlist promotion. So I hope this stuff is helpful, and wishing you good luck as always as you make and market your music.